What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into another edition of MVP Sports Live right here on either Twitch. You might be watching us on YouTube. I'm joined, as I always am, though, with my beautiful co-host, Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
Dave, how you doing today? Beautiful Wednesday. It is also, Dave, a great day because I told this to my mom today. Last night, Dave, for all of our U.S. viewers, this attributes to you. All of our Australian and UK and Russian users, like, this doesn't apply to you. Last night was the last night we will ever lay our heads on our pillows, Dave, knowing Donald Trump is our president.
I mean, 2024 is not too far away.
I mean, Dave, if he gets convicted in the Senate, Dave.
He better.
You mean Ivanka Trump 2024? That's what's coming.
I can't even imagine that shit. But yeah, today is the inauguration, or was the inauguration for Joe Biden. So, good day. Feels good. He's already doing a whole bunch of stuff trying to undo years of damage.
He's already got a scandal, Dave. Already got a scandal. No. He's got a Peloton bike. Apparently, those Peloton bikes, cybersecurity, Dave. They're thinking it's going to be a cyber attack on Joe's Peloton. Because, Joe's got to get into shape. He's got to stay awake on that Peloton.
Sleepy Weren't you going to get a Peloton bike?
I was. Now my mom wants one. So we're
you're definitely getting a Peloton bike.
We are. She really wants one. So once she has the money, she's getting a Peloton.
I need you to tell me how it is before I buy it. Because I'm really interested in getting one. But
I've always wanted one. Yeah, I've always wanted. Like Jake says, doesn't fit his normal guy from Scranton narrative. Who gives a shit? Fucking Pelotons look dope, yo.
Jake, if things are accessible to me, I will use them. Like, I have a bike.
Don't waste your money.
And I have I live near a forest preserve. Mm-hmm. I go on like 10, 20 mile bike rides fairly often. So,
but if you get in your house and not be in the heat and do the same thing.
Well, right now it's the cold. Now it's the cold. So I can't go.
You ain't fucking biking out there.
Ain't doing that.
Dave will slip on ice. He'll crack his head open and Dave's dead.
Wearing a helmet. I'm a smart guy.
You gotta wear a helmet. But Dave, we got a jam-packed show today. Basketball, baseball on the docket. Philip Rivers retired also, so congratulations to the mother fudging Philip Rivers.
Gummit.
The curve of damn gummit.
In his retirement letter.
Yeah,
it was great.
It's great. Philip Rivers, great career. Too bad we ain't going to see you in a Bears uniform next year. But, Dave, let's get into the housekeeping really quick. Okay. Discord, if you are not in it, make sure to join it. Best community on the internet. That link is down below in the description, or / Discord gets you the link to get in on all the action, talking about all the sports we love to talk about with everyone in our Discord. If you would like to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids is how you can do that. Gold, bronze, silver, platinum, any way you want to support us, you can. You can also throw us a sub on Twitch and get rewarded for it as well. You have Prime Gaming. Amazon gives it to you anyways. Why not throw it at us and get rewarded for doing so? We are on Twitch every Monday through Friday, twitch.tv/MVPvids. We're also on YouTube at MVP Sports. I forgot to do this yesterday, so I'll do it today. Thank you to our Patreon sponsor, Pat Hill. And today's show is sponsored by MANSCAPED, but we will talk about them later. Dave, let's get into the first topic. And actually, you know what I just thought about, Dave? We changed the first topic, so there's not actually going to be a graphic on the screen because we were going to talk top 50. Then news fell into our laps. We kind of pulled an audible before the show. We're talking Lonzo Ball trade rumors because, Dave, I'm going to kick it to you. Last time we talked Lonzo Ball trade rumors, we got glowing reviews, right? Glowing reviews from Pelican fans.
It was a little surprising to hear Pelican fans give us their opinion on what we thought about this team. Two guys who don't watch any basketball, clearly.
Dude, we just talk about it. Like, what do you need to watch it for, right?
You don't need to watch, apparently. God. I mean, it's very frustrating, but we do want to give some shouts to our
fans.
I gotta minimize the chat.
Yeah, you do, Dave.
So I gotta give some shouts to our YouTube fans out there. Someone like Ryu Kikan, RYUKIKION.
Okay.
A lot of depth here. He did write a lot for us, and just to highlight some of the things he tossed out there. He's just under the impression that the pair in the video just look at stats and do not understand basketball. Clearly, if you bring stats to an argument about basketball, you're a fucking nerd who doesn't even watch. Do you watch, bro? Dude, is the question that will come up.
Gotta love nerds. It's like The Simpsons. Nerd!
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to, we're not trading Ball. If you watch the games, you would see how valuable it is to the team. I can see they don't watch it all. Those two are attributed to Cold-Blooded XR and Trail. Like, both of these fucking idiots clearly don't understand who we are, what we've been doing for the last, I don't know, fucking decade, talking, watching, and covering sports. So it's a little fucking insulting that these jabronis come into our comment section and try to devalue our commentary on the Pelicans team, because it's a little frustrating. What we do for year over year, is talk about basketball. That's my jam. That's your jam. We love it. We do a good job of it. I think we're always looking to get better, but just because you don't like our opinion doesn't mean it's wrong. And when we talked about Lonzo Ball potentially being traded, there was a reason why we were talking about Lonzo Ball potentially being traded. It was because teams were thinking Lonzo Ball hasn't been signed to an extension. He's at the end of his rookie deal. Duh. You know what that means? That means the Pelicans aren't sure if they want to keep him. How does he fit on their team? They've got a lot of long-term contracts that they have to deal with and figure out. So he looks like he's on the outside looking in. He has to prove something. That's all we said. He has to prove something. Then we talked about some teams who could pick him up in trades. And now today we have a confirmation that teams are looking to get him on their roster, but not the Pelicans keeping him. Interesting how that works out, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and the 4 teams are the Knicks, the Magic, the Clippers, and the Raptors. All of these obviously make sense, Dave, but the first one I kind of want to start with is, to me, the most intriguing one, the Orlando Magic. And the reason why I say that is, right now this year, we were very hyped, or most people were hyped. I'm still skeptical just because of the whole, him coming in and with the injury, but Markelle Fultz, of how is he going to be this year? They signed him to an extension that he will have after this year. And then he tears his ACL. He's out for the entire year. One thing we say about the Magic right now is they don't have a point guard. Cole Anthony, yes, he's only a rookie, but has not shown the ability, but basically hasn't shown what we all thought he would be, being a first-round pick. Where he was drafted by the Magic. This is an intriguing one for me, because if the Magic trade for Lonzo Ball, is that them basically what I think, where it's okay, it's an insurance policy. I like Lonzo and Markelle going forward on this team,
that would be great.
rather than the latter of, hey, we're not confident in Markelle anymore. I know some people will flip that. I think it's more of the former of, hey, we're not sold on Cole Anthony. If we can flip him and something for Lonzo, and then have Fultz and Lonzo be our 2 point guards of the future.
Oh, I think the great thing about those two guys, they can play next to each other. I think Lonzo and Markelle can play next to each other, which would be awesome, because we'd be watching a 1-2 on the same team. Obviously, both of them did not have their careers go quite as they had hoped, but I think at the end of the day, the Magic are a team that can take advantageous trades where it's hey, we'll take a shot at a guy who hasn't maybe lived up to your expectations. Give him a chance. They've rebuilt their player development group down there. They've overhauled training staff. They've done a great job with everything as far as that's concerned. So I really do think that if you have an upside player who you haven't hit on, they're a team who's already looking. So you looking to get rid of somebody? I can offer you something. It's just, it makes perfect sense to me, because again, Lonzo can play main primary point guard. Fultz can play at the 2. That was basically what we were mocking already for Philly when he was initially drafted, that he would play off ball to Ben Simmons as a secondary ball handler, or although primary ball handler, I guess technically. You need multiple guys out there who can do it, but it just makes perfect sense to me. I don't think they've given up on Markelle at all. I think he is still the plan for the future. Everything you hear about that kid is awesome, and he's just snake bitten with injury at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, Soapy brings up a good point. Man, can't believe the Magic need both the number 1 and the number 2 pick from that year in the draft, which Lonzo and Markelle were 1-2 the years they were drafted. But if you're the Magic, what are you looking to give up? Is this something where, because Lonzo's $11 million, so are you looking to get maybe Lonzo in a piece, flip Fournier to the Pelicans because that's an expiring contract? Or if you're the Pelicans, are you looking for, hey, we'll do a Lonzo Cole Anthony swap, then we want some extra pieces from you? If you're the Pelicans, if you're the Magic, what are you looking to give up? What are you looking to get if you're New Orleans?
I think the Magic definitely would be happy to get rid of Evan Fournier. I think that one's a no-brainer. It's a shooting guard. Hey, look, how would you like an actual shooting guard to play shooting guard for you, Pelicans? Wouldn't that be a crazy fucking good idea instead of forcing Lonzo Ball to play off ball as a spot-up shooter at times? That's fucking dumb, and that's why he's having a career worth shooting right now. Like, he does not look in sync with that offense. And again, in our Discord, we were talking about a little bit earlier today. Their coaching staff definitely they've got a bad system for the talent they have on their roster, and it doesn't seem like they're really working to fix that right now. So the hope is you do need a shooting guard out there. Bledsoe, because of his contract, is your point guard right now. So you don't really have a ton of options, but you do need to support someone like Zion and Brandon Ingram with excellent shooters on the outside. So you do have to kind of balance it out. So I think they would be very interested in getting Fournier, even as an expiring, hey, guess what? That means they might have money to spend going forward next year. And then you can look at maybe a Mo Bamba who has been hidden beneath the fucking mountain that is straight up. Like, Nikola Vucevic is so fucking good at basketball. And it's just a shame that it goes to waste because he's playing on the Magic, who, again, no Isaac, no Fultz this year. It's a struggle for them at times. So he is, again, always one of the best players, but like he doesn't get the recognition because of the team and the media market, doesn't give them love because they're not at the top of the conference.
Here's the only problem though with this, and this is where I feel like in my mind, a deal with the Magic doesn't get done is Fournier and Bamba for Lonzo Ball. If you are the Pelicans, because of contracts, you would still need to cut $9.1 million. To where, like, the guys that fit that immediately is Zion, so no way you're fucking trading Zion.
Correct.
But, like, contracts under that. Jackson Hayes at 5.1, Nico Melli 3.8, Kira's untouchable, but he's 3.6. Josh Hart is 3.4, Nickeil Alexander-Walker 3.1, and then after that it's like your 1.7s and your 1.6s in Willie, Sandarius, and Gabriel.
Yeah, Josh Hart could get tossed in there. But yeah, you're right. The contracts do make it a little interesting to see how that works out. I don't see them moving on from any of the other players you had mentioned. They need the spacing out of Melli to keep that offense working. Yeah, I don't... that does make it difficult. You are correct.
Like the other team, that it's like I find it interesting because of the fit and situation, but yet again I don't see a deal getting done because what would the Pelicans want and get from this team is the Raptors. Like the Raptors, this makes sense. If you think Kyle Lowry is walking away at the end of the year, trade for LaMelo or trade for Lonzo Ball. Because you're going to have RFA status where even if he gets a contract from somebody, you're basically going, hey, I'd rather match that than try to pay Kyle Lowry and maybe lose him and then be left with nothing. The only difference is it's the same kind of matter here of what on the Raptors do the Pelicans want. Because
the Raptors have 7 shooting guards, so that works out well, actually.
I mean, good point. The thing is that I was looking at is like this isn't going to be a Lowry-Lonzo swap because Lowry's making $30 million.
Also, Lowry's worth way more than Lonzo Ball is.
Yeah. Just, what would you like? If you're the Pelicans, what are you looking for from the Raptors then?
Give me 1 minute to pull fucking Raptors roster, man. You're the one who's got Trade Machine up for a living.
I mean, OG's off the table. If on the Pelicans, like I don't want Stanley Johnson. Like Malachi Flynn is interesting as a young prospect, but doesn't really move the needle much.
You're probably looking at a Terrence Davis, Norm Powell kind of situation. Who would you rather have moving forward as the Raptors? That's my guess. Is you're looking at one of those two guys, and then probably Stanley Johnson if you need contract filler. Obviously. Baines is fucking worthless out there, so like, don't even give a shit about that. But you probably need someone to stand at the 5 at some point when fucking Rick Bucher isn't out there. So I would guess it's like a Norm Powell and Lonzo kind of swap.
Do you
I think that's about even value. I think Norm Powell's pretty good. I think Lonzo upside's still there. So
Is it like Norm Powell and a pick? Because, like, here's the thing. Usually I would say, like, my first thought was, like, oh, Norm Powell in, like, 2 seconds. Because, like, to me, I don't know if you're giving up a first to bring in Lonzo Ball. Maybe you are because of that, like, hey, you're getting a guy for RFA status. That kind of means something. But, like, when it comes to the Raptors, they have first-round picks in 21, 22, 23. And their second-round picks, they don't have them until 2023 and 2025. So like, if I'm the Pelicans, if I'm getting 2 seconds, why would I get 2023 and 25 and have to wait for them? Or does it even fucking matter?
Norm Powell's a better player than Lonzo Ball.
Just hands down.
So I don't think, look, Lonzo is someone who has been disappointing on offense his whole fucking career. He got to a 40% shooter from 3 last year. It looked like he'd put the pieces together. Like I said, offensively, the system has fucked him this year. I don't really blame him for that, but you can't give him any whatever because his shooting has been poor to start this season. Again, small sample size. And like I mentioned in the last fucking video that these people hated me for, if you look at the stats, he played 3 different seasons last year, you know? Yeah. And obviously we can see him go on hot runs. So it's not to say he can't ever hit consistency there, but he has not been consistent throughout his career yet. His defense is incredible still. Yes, you have a great on-ball, off-ball defender, which is great. You have someone who can make fantastic touch passes, which keeps the offense rolling. But Norm Powell is just a fucking knockdown shooter, and he can provide a ton of offense and space out the floor perfectly for them. And he's got a player up next year for about 11 mil, 50-50 if he takes that. I think depending on the situation, if he's traded to a new team, he may decide to look at a larger contract. Again, he's shooting like really good this year. Give me one sec. 40, 42, 87 right now. So like, when you're playing 23 minutes a night and your shooting splits are fantastic, he's incredibly efficient. He's been great his whole time there, but he's a perfect fit for me. Like, Pelicans need a shooting guard. They need a future point guard over in Tampa Bay for this season. So I think that's a perfect fit. Again, neither one of these guys is guaranteed to be on the team next year. Player op on Norm's side, and obviously Lonzo Ball, RFA, they have a little more control. They can match if he does well and they decide to. So maybe you throw in a future second on Norm Powell's side, but that's about it. Like, just for that contract control, because player option versus RFA. Yeah, I still think it's a win-win deal though. Like, I think long term it gives the Raptors a sense of security moving forward in case Kyle Lowry does not want to re-sign with them, because I think he will get an offer. It's just a matter of he wants to go to a team, play with some different people around the league, or whatever, compete for a championship on a LeBron team or a Kawhi team. I think the Kawhi one is the main rumor, obviously, but the 76ers is also another one that could happen.
Do you see the Clippers actually, like you bring up Kawhi, do you see the Clippers actually getting Lonzo? Because the only thing I worry, and yet again, maybe this shouldn't be a worry, because the Clippers would be getting Lonzo for the fact of, if it helps us get a ring this year, that's all that fucking matters.
But like contract control in the future. Well, so they can do exactly what they did with Luke Kennard and extend him out and not have to worry about the value of the deal, because, hey, cap don't matter anymore because we are under, because he is a RFA.
That's right. I forgot about that, because I was going to say, like, oh, would they be able to match an offer from someone? But I totally forgot about that. If they traded for him, they would be able to go over the cap.
Yeah, they retain his rights.
That's right. So, like, yet again, though, like, I look at this team.
Lou Will and 2 seconds, maybe. I think it's the deal that I had heard most recently. Lou Will has struggled this year because, again, he lost the Doc Rivers system. Doc system, for those of you who don't know, and what the Clippers had been doing with him, very predicated on shooting guards getting ISO time, getting a lot of ball handling time, getting motion going on in that offense. And that is not the case anymore. Obviously, with Ty Lue there, the offensive system has changed. It's more based on running sets and a little more structure out there, making sure that Kawhi and Paul George can feast. If you want to see what Doc has done, you can instantly look over at the 76ers and the prosperity that is Seth Curry, best Curry over there, just draining every fucking shot. Shake Milton, same thing in his absence. Like, honestly, Doc Rivers is a shooting guard whisperer, and he knows how to make that position spotlight. So Lou Williams, I don't think he's all of a sudden falling off a cliff or anything. It's just he's no longer playing in the system that suits his needs. And again, now there's Lonzo. Great switch. It makes sense on paper. I understand where these are coming from, you know?
And the thing that I'm trying to work with right now is so with this trade, basically the Clippers would have to add something else. They would have two things. For financials alone, they would have to cut about $900,000. But then also for hard cap reasons, they would also have to cut an additional $2.4 million. So you're looking at almost $3 million that the Clippers would have to cut, and salaries within that range for them. You're looking at like Pat, like basically Pat is the only one that makes it work, unless you're going to do like a Reggie Jackson and a Turu, or Reggie Jackson and Cobb and Jelly, or a Turu and Cobb and Jelly. But I don't know why you'd want two centers if you're going over also a Turu young rook that we haven't really seen much of. So it's like with the Pelicans, like Reggie Jackson isn't something that screams off the page to me, but at the same time, is Pat someone that the Clippers would want to move on from if they have to add him to the deal to make the math work?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they can do that. So again, we'll see.
So that's Lou Will, Pat, and then a second-round pick?
I honestly think it might be Cavangeli, to be honest. Like, Cavangeli is someone who, again, he is a prospect who has potential, but at the same time, they don't got time for potential. They got time to win a championship. So I think that they would probably look at moving Cavangeli over Pat. Pat's kind of been there, done that, proven himself. Yeah. Even as a insurance policy, I still like him over Cavangeli. Upside player, just maybe this year, I think that Pat contributes more to the team.
And to make it...
I think we will, Cavangeli, and
Terrence Mann.
Second.
Terrence Mann So Terrence Mann would also have to be added to make contracts work. Like, that's the thing. With Cobb and Jelly, you would still need to add here. Let me get rid of Terrence Mann. Because I tried to do that, Lou Will and Cobb and Jelly. And because of hard cap, you would still have about, rounding up here, but $400,000 that you would have to get off of the Clippers. So it's either they're taking on a Turu, or it's, in my mind, it's either a Turu or Terrence Mann who's on the move, because those are the lowest contracts on the Clippers right now.
Yeah,
unless you get a third team involved in some way.
Yeah, I'd love to get rid of Reggie Jackson. You're right.
Yeah, but yet again, would the Pelicans want him? Because he's under contract for
only this year.
Oh, okay,
it's just 1 year. Yeah, so instead of Terrence Mann, I'd get rid of Reggie Jackson.
Okay, here, let me see if that with Cobb and Jelly.
Second two. Yeah, so Cobb and Jelly, Reggie Jackson, and Lou Will, and two twos.
That works. Yeah, Lou Will, Reggie, Cobb and Jelly, and then basically they'd be 2022 seconds, but they're getting the Clippers second round pick and then an Atlanta second round pick.
At that point, does it? So
yeah. And then the last team, Eric, even in Twitch chat, said ball to the Knicks.
Yeah.
This one is the one that basically I look at and go, does this mean, because Emmanuel quickly, Dave, we're going to talk about the rookies. He's balling out. He is straight balling out. Does that mean basically, like, if they trade for Lonzo, does that mean Frank is done in New York? Does that mean that basically
could mean Frank's part of the deal? I mean, Frank's not getting fucking minutes, so I don't think. Look, you could trade Frank, you could trade Dennis, you could trade Alex Burke's probably gonna stay on the team a little bit.
Do you try to trade Kevin Knox, and do the Pelicans want him?
I don't think Kevin Knox could trade. I think they're going to run out his whole rookie deal. I think Tom wants to know if he can work with him.
Yeah.
I think it's probably Frank, Dennis, or Burks to try to make a deal happen as a centerpiece. Obviously, Reggie Bullock's been playing really well. He would be a good fit for the Pelicans, honestly. So if they wanted to go that route and say, hey, we're going to slide RJ full-time 3 quickly, gets the start event, at this point to the 2, and drop Peyton down to the bench, let Lonzo run that first unit, I think that would be a very good lineup for them moving forward. But again, it's the Knicks, it's Tom Thibodeau, so who knows?
It's Tom. Like, the thing I'm looking at though is like the entire Knicks roster, and here's a potential problem I see. Sure. For if I'm the Pelicans, to where most of the things we've been talking about are either guys that are going to add something at like the shooting guard position you mentioned,
Correct.
Or we are going to have this guy for contractual control. Like you brought up Norm Powell, but if it was a 2-year deal and not a 1-and-1 with a player op this year, then maybe that would be different. And it's like all the contracts I look at: Burks 1 year, Dennis Smith 1 year, Noel 1 year, Alfred Payton 1 year, Bullock 1 year. It's like all these 1-year contracts. And it's like the guys that have multiples. Mitch Robb, I don't think is in the deal. No way they're trading Emmanuel quickly for Lonzo Ball. To where I'm almost like the only guy that has more than 1 year is Iggy Brzezickas. And it's like, is he just going to be thrown into the deal because the Pelicans feel like we need somebody that's going to be here and not just get a bunch of guys that are going to walk? Because if that's the case, if that's all you're getting, then it's just let Lonzo walk at the end of the year, unless you're trying to get numerous seconds from the
you could go protected first. I think a protected first. I think a future protected first in like 2023 or something like that could be interesting to them.
What, like top 5 protected?
More.
Like top
no, it's the Knicks like
protected?
Lotto protected for the Knicks, and then it might be Lotto protected, top 10 protected, and then like either break into like, I don't know if they'd go full unprotected or if they would just whatever it is at that point. Randall is the guy to watch on the Knicks, honestly. Like, not in this deal, but he's playing so well for them. Someone should want him. And again, next year he does have a partially guaranteed 19 mil on the books. Yeah. So, or 19.8 on the books. So like, it's a situation where I think that there could be a couple deals going on this Knicks team, but like, the question is like, hey, we're playing this well right now. Like, do they want to play with it? Do they want Tom is Tom comfortable with the team making moves, with how he's got this team playing right now? I think the answer is always yes. I think change is never a bad thing. I think, you don't want change for the sake of change, but you do want to continually try to improve that roster. And if you don't see Randall as the vet on the team at 25, I know it's ridiculous, but like, if you don't see him as, the guy who's going to hold down this roster moving forward for the next couple of years, contract's not terrible. His production's really good. I mean, once you scale it down to where everybody else is at, it's still pretty good. It's not incredible, but it's still pretty good. But the man's playing fucking 39 minutes a game. So if you look at per 36, everybody else catch it up.
Yeah, I don't see, out of all the teams we talked about, I see the Knicks being the least likely in my mind. Knicks and Magic probably being the least likely. Clippers being second place, because I feel like the Clippers are going to do whatever they can to try to get it done. But I think the one that I like the most is, after talking about it with you, I think I like the Raptors the best, where it's like you're getting a Norm, like if Norm Powell's in the deal, protected first, but like
just to clear it up, it would be a protected first, probably Reggie Bullock, Dennis Smith or Frank, and I think that fills it out, because that's 4 mil plus, like, that brings up to like 9 mil or 10 with how that all rolls out.
Yeah, because like I was doing, like, you could do Frank and a protected first for Lonzo if you wanted to.
Oh, okay.
If like that contractually works out. I think if I'm putting my money on it, the Raptors or the Clippers are the ones that end up on them. What do you think if you had to put your money on a team ending up with them?
I like the idea of the Raptors going after him. I think he could help them out. I mean, it's not the immediate hole on the roster that is the center, but at the same time, it gives them a sense of security in case Kyle Lowry does want to explore other options next year.
Which I think he does.
Yeah. I mean, they got something special growing up there again. Like, again, player development and Raptors, it's exactly what we say it is every single time. They just keep pumping out guys. So I'm always excited to watch that team, but I'm going to guess that, if Kyle walks, they got to have somebody up there. I'm surprised you don't think the Knicks, because I think a first-round pick, even if it's protected, is still something that,
it's just
the Pelicans would love to get. And I love the Knicks with a point guard who's not Alfred Payton.
Yeah, I
just
the only thing that doesn't sell me, and yet again, maybe this like shouldn't matter to me, but it's like when you say like, oh, lottery protected and then this protected and this protected, I don't expect the Knicks to be a good team anytime soon. So it's like, yeah, I get that for a future pick, but then how many years am I not getting that pick because the Knicks are the Knicks?
Like, they might do 2022 with a lotto protection, which again, remember the Knicks have the Mavs picks as well.
Yeah, they do.
So maybe they'd be willing to part with a later Mavs pick instead of doing all the protection shenanigans.
Yeah, I would like that better as a Pelican than I would having the protections from the Knicks. But
they might do a 2022 that's or whatever the off years for Pelicans, I should say. But yeah.
But Dave, let's move on. Let's go into wet boys before we go into rookies. The dampest of dudes, saggest of shooters, moistest of men, sometimes the mistiest of misses. If you're new to wet boys, these are our players of the day from the day prior. How it works is Dave gives a wet boy, I give a wet boy, and then the patrons at patreon.com/MVPvids also get to vote on one as well. Dave, we won't take up much time with it with the shenanigans. Who's your wet boy? January 20th, 2021.
My wet boy today is hopefully going to be one of those rookies we're going to talk about a year from now in Jalen Johnson. Somebody who I talked about to start the year, somebody who I'm going to bring up again. He has returned from injury. This is his second game back, but his first full game back playing legitimate minutes. He only had like 4 minutes. It was just to like test the waters kind of a situation. So this is his first game back since his injury. He did fucking everything. And again, I know it was a losing effort, but the stat line continues on. He had 2 steals and 4 blocks that aren't even on this. The defense was measurable. I mean, he does everything. He literally does everything. And that is exactly why he's fighting his way back up there. Now that I saw this game, it's like, don't get too excited, Dave. He's probably your number 4 guy. He might be your number 5 guy. He might be 4.
And just wait till the G League guys play.
Well, I've seen the G League highlights, dude. Don't get me started on Green over there. You like Kuminga, I like Green, but like, let's just say the top 5 is going to be competitive this year. This is a situation where, again, not get too into it, but like it's Cade, and then everybody else is very close, very, very close. So Jalen Johnson, shout out, losing effort, but happy to see you healthy and playing well.
The one thing I will say is from the G League, the one guy I feel like that is going to have the biggest rise from that is Daishen Nix.
Oh, yeah.
I think right now we're very, like, most big boards are low on him. He's going to fucking skyrocket when we see him play G League games. But, Dave, I'm going to college basketball, too. Mainly because I told you I want to do a little bit of dick riding here in Wet Boys. There is a college team that is completely spanking the SEC. Usually they spank football. They slap on the football field, Dave. The Buss-It Challenge doesn't even hold a cake to what this team does on the football field. But I got to go with John Petty Jr., man. Hitting 8 threes, 8 of 10 from 3, 8 of 11. The one non-3 he missed, but 24 points. Like, this Alabama Crimson Tide team, I'm telling you now, when you get to March Madness and we're filling out our brackets to Indy and we're trying to figure it out, this is a Sweet 16 team at the least. That's what I'm saying. Like, this team is blowing out SEC opponents. They had 60 by half in their last game. And yeah, they're phenomenal. And I think that they'll win the first round. They'll win the first weekend. They will get to the second weekend. And then after that, it's all about the matchup, who they play in the Sweet 16 and the Elite 18. But yeah, I really love Alabama. I really love what John Petty's doing. A guy we talked about last year in the draft. Came back to Alabama, Dave. I know one of our patrons, John, also liked John Petty out of Alabama, I believe.
I mean, he's one of the best three-point shooters in college basketball still. I always used to know Corey Kispert, but, like, who the fuck is? He's in that next grouping of, like...
Talk about Kispert. He's been fucking rising. Oh, he's a top 10 pick right now.
He is. Can't fucking miss. But yeah, John Petty is someone, last year I thought he would have made a great second-round pickup, probably in the same range as an Isaiah Joe. So I'm happy to see that he has come back and he's continued to thrive at Alabama with that offense. Win some games.
Yeah, and the patron up boy Dave won me some money last night. Nikola Jokic, baby. He got his over 11.5 boards. Some other things happened. Nikola Jokic, he gets the web board from the patrons. Got me $90 last night. My parlay hit, Dave. Finally, one of them hit.
Yeah, you only lost how much money up until that point? Never mind.
Now Now it was even. I got all my money back.
Yep. Finally got back to even again. So try not to lose more.
We'll see how today goes.
Yeah, Jokic had another great game, but like this, I almost am like, yeah, that's just Nikola Jokic. Like I've hit that point. You know how like LeBron after 3 years, it was just like, what that freak of nature is doing isn't even like it that's just normal now. Like that's this just LeBron's stat line. What I see with my eyes, I'm no longer like amazed by. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's normal. That's who he is. That's what it's becoming for Jokic. Like I think I've hit that point where I'm like, at first it was like, this is incredible. This big can do all these things, offensively, passing, defensively. He's still solid, and like they just built the perfect offense around him. You know, they're just hoping that when Murray is fully healthy and not playing with fucking injuries, which got questions about that decision. We'll see how this Nuggets team does. Because right now they're not at the top, but when they're all healthy, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and like Nikola Jokic, this is his first wet boy of 2020. He had not gotten one until this point. I believe he was wet boy of the year for the NBA. No, was he? I'd have to double check. I think he was. Wet boy. Yeah, that's right. Because that's why I brought Sean on, and we were telling Sean that his boy got wet boy of the year. But Dave, before we move on into our next topic, we got to talk about today's sponsor of the show, and that's Manscaped. Manscaped support for MVP Sports Live is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all your below-the-waist grooming needs because, Dave, we talked about one ball. We're going to be talking about another ball in the next segment, and these balls have one thing in common, Dave. They have a father who has the mega balls. Dave, the mega balls to produce talents like Lonzo and LaMelo. If you want your balls...
What about
LiAngelo? That's 3 balls, man. You got 3 balls. 3 are better than 2. If you want those balls to be silky smooth, Dave, listen to that. Listen to that go. Like, that is a hum. It is a quiet razor. It's even got, look at that, a little bit of a flashlight there so you can find things down there. And it lasts for 90 minutes. And it's also waterproof. You can put this thing in the shower. It will not break on you. So go to Manscaped right now. Get 20% off and free shipping using the code MVP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code MVP. Your balls will thank you. And Dave, that is going to take us into grading the early grades for the NBA rookies about a month into the NBA season. I know I have a list down, but fuck it. We'll just start with LaMelo Ball, you know, balls on top of balls into balls. LaMelo Ball, rookie of the year, right?
It does seem like he is in the lead. I got no argument with that. He's very good at basketball, but again, it's the things that I didn't see coming. It's the effort on the defensive end that I've been really impressed by. It's the fact that he is a never quit kind of a player on the court, which I think a lot of pundits and people commenting on the NBA were very critical of him. And I'm glad to see him prove them wrong. I'm glad that he is 100% effort 100% of the time he's on that court. He looks locked in, and it's exactly what you want to see. Yes, the shooting numbers aren't great, but at the same time, they never really were going to be great out the gates. He's someone who has the body to grow into just something special. But the passing was there from day one, and I think he's a lock. Yeah, he's a lock for rookie of the year at this point for me. I mean, he stuffs the stat line. He's coming off the bench. At some point, the Charlotte Hornets will make the swap to move him into that starting lineup, but till they do.
Dave, you mentioned it, though. He's not even in the starting fucking lineup, Dave, and he's doing what he's doing. Like, I want to ask you. I know Retro and Jake in the watch-along were like, hey, do we take our victory lap on Shake Milton? Do we take our victory lap on LaMelo Ball, Dave? Because people were telling us that Anthony Edwards and James Wiseman are the number ones in this draft class. And no, it's LaMelo Ball. He's proven it.
About that kid. Daily victory laps there for LaMelo Ball. His effort, what he's putting out there on the court. A+. I mean, that pick has been perfect. They knew that it was the whatever's coming our way, we will take. We'll be happy. We'll work with it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they weren't pressured into moving out of the position. I wish the Bulls had moved up for him, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about who the Bulls got. I really like him. But yeah, A+ for LaMelo Ball. Like, there was no other grade here. Now to the list, Dave. We'll start Cole Anthony. We kind of talked about the Magic earlier. This is one where I will start with this one. I'm putting, there is no grade yet for me. It is a incomplete right now. It is a to be seen because I feel like this was something where he was expected to be a backup role. And now with the injury to Markelle Fultz, that team is kind of in shambles, shifting things around. I almost want to say inconclusive. I want to say to be determined later because I want to see more of him working with this team without Markelle Fultz out there.
But it is about grading, so I will give the fans a grade here. I'll go with a solid C+ here. Mm-hmm. Again, not surprised by anything I've seen from him. He's not a good shooter. We knew that in college. Mm-hmm. He is not a great facilitator. Yeah. Knew that in college. What he can do is score, and he plays with his athleticism out there. Yes, you see flashes, but at the same time, like, nothing here is making me believe that he is a star point guard of the future. You know, we'd like to believe he has that upside still in him. If he learns to shoot and if he can cut down on turnovers while increasing his facilitation with that team, love to see it. But yeah, I think I'm being generous with a C+ here.
Yeah, and for me, like I said, like only inconclusive because it hasn't been great, but I want to see more from it. Next one on the list, Deni Avdija. And for me, I actually have a question for you with this one, Dave. I've asked Soapy this question before. Yeah. It comes from our Discord because there's been talk with Deni Avdija where, of course, like if you look at a stat sheet, you know, you're a stat nerd out there.
Of course.
Deni doesn't jump off the page, but like watching his game, he has shown some spots as a passer. The shooting, maybe we hyped it up a little bit too much in the draft process. Hasn't shown great shooting this year, but yet again,
what do you mean?
Well, more versatility, I should say then. Not like actual numbers, but like
he's shooting fine.
The thing I'm getting to is
he literally just had his best performance of the year. What? His second to last game?
Yeah, that's the thing where it gets to this, where in the Discord it was thrown out. The Wizards are already wasting Deni Avdija because of Russell Westbrook. Now, Westbrook has been out the last few games, Dave, which plays into why his performances have been better. And it's just one of those things where I want to ask you, can a team waste a guy 12 games into a year? Can they completely waste a guy? Because I don't think you can. I think that's later down the road where you say waste it or not.
You can't waste a guy when they have only played a quarter of the season. Bingo. So I'm going to say hard no on that. But I do think his shooting is fine. I think that he's one of the best players on that Wizards team already. I think he is absolutely phenomenal. And I am upset I'm upset at Scotty Brooks. And it's exactly what we thought of it. He fuck up the rotations. And it's like, all right, Deni Avdija is going to ride the fucking bench. We're going to need 4 guards out here for this lineup. Hope that works out great for us. Oh, didn't. Oh, shock that didn't work for me when I got fucking Bradley Beal, Ish Smith. I know disrespect to Ish Smith, but like my point is, you can't run lineups like that. You can't run 4 guard lineups. I'm fucking sorry, Scotty Brooks. You're a goddamn idiot. Deni Avdija, good at basketball. Fuck the haters. Total value pick for the Wizards. I don't think anybody thought he would be there at 9 overall where he fell to. So I love what he's gotten the chance to showcase. Very good defender, very good passer, very aware of the situation on the court and how to play his role. And, you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, if he was on a worse team without stars, I think we'd see fantastic numbers from him. Yeah. But he is on a team where you do have Bradley Beal and John Wall both getting theirs. And then now that Rui is back trying to get hit, like you got a lot of mouths to feed over there in Washington. So I think the numbers won't show how good he is, but I think he's probably playing like, you know, the 5th best rookie or 4th best rookie on the court right now.
Yeah. And that's why for me, like this might be lower than some, Dave, but I'm going to go B- for Deni only because like, I know most people, like, I shouldn't say most. Some people out there might look at him and go, oh, he's C+ right now, or he's C. But it's like the things that you see negative with Deni, you hit on. It's not his fault. It's like it would be different if he was on the Bulls. It would be different if he was on the Hornets. Like he is with Scotty Brooks. That is his coach. Scotty Brooks is a bad coach. When will the Wizards get this through their dense skulls? to where like that's why I'm gonna go B- instead of higher, which I've seen from other people.
I'll go A-.
A-.
Shoot me.
The next guy, Dave, Desmond Bain. Guy I really liked in the draft. Later on, I really liked him. I've got some stats here from the Bleacher Report article.
Are you allowed to read stats?
Am I allowed? Is that allowed, Dave? Am I allowed to read
stats?
Watch? Do I even watch?
Did you watch the Grizzlies that we just watched in our watch along the other night? I don't know.
When we watched them with the fucking best unis that are had in the NBA with the old Vancouver logo on the court. Yeah, I did, Dave. But just reading from the article, it says, so far, Desmond Bain is 21 of 43 from three-point, drilling a scorching 51.4% of his looks off the catch and getting himself open with relocations and off-ball reads. They also say he's also hit 42.9% from his pull-up field goal attempts, though he hasn't used them as much or attempted many shots off the dribble. Dave, this is what I talked about in the draft. The thing I hyped so much about Desmond Bain was his fucking shooting. It was like, so it was Saddiq Bey, Desmond Bain, Tyler Bey were like the ones where like Saddiq I thought would go higher than the rest. But like Bain and Bey 2, I should say. Bey. I thought they were going to be like, hey, their shooting is why you go ahead and draft them. Grizzlies, yet again, get a guy that's like nobody else wants. We'll take him, and he's paying dividends early on for him.
Yeah. I know a team that we'll talk about in a little bit later who wish they would have taken someone like Desmond Bain, who took a different shooting guard who's gonna, we'll see early in their careers. I'm not gonna say regret it, but right now, Desmond Bain, again, multi-year college guy. Great shot throughout. He just kept getting better offensively. I love it. Everything I see out of him and his little T-Rex arms out there. It's fucking hilarious at times. Fans make fun of him. I don't know if they're fans, but people in Reddit make fun of him for it. But like, the dude just has a shot that goes in. I love that second unit they put together with Melton, Bain, and Grayson Allen out there. Just shooters. They got two shooters next to De'Anthony Melton, he is their de facto like bench point guard. Well, Tyus kind of bounced, but yeah, with whole Jock coming back, I guess it's shook up a little bit.
Yeah.
Point being, great fit. Wish he will take over Jalen Brooks' starting job at some point.
Jalen Brooks.
Maybe just a finishing role. Maybe a finishing role instead of starting. Jalen can have the starting role, so we don't hurt his ego. Yeah. But I think to finish games off, I like Desmond Bain on the court a little bit better.
Hey, unless Brooks is on the way out, we've talked about trade rumors, Dave.
True.
What was the comment section that said that basically was blasting us for throwing trades out there for the Grizzlies? Was that what the Bulls? Oh, Zach LaVine. That's right. Don't want Zach LaVine out there with John Morant, Dave. It's not like the Bulls wanted that or anything. Oh, no, they wouldn't work at all. But yeah, I would say A- for me for Desmond Bain so far. Maybe a little higher than everyone else.
I don't know how you can go lower than an A. Yeah. Like, what more do you want the guy to do? He is exceeding his role. They are not giving him more than 20 minutes a night. They clearly have a depth rotation at the shooting guard position. So it's like, hey, we're giving you the minutes that are available. They're not going to go ahead and like cut anybody out of the rotation quite yet. It's still very early in the season. This is still a very young team waiting for Jaren Jackson Jr. and Justice Winslow to return. So I think right now it's just they're waiting to see what settles. And then if they have to move on from a Jalen Brooks or if they want to move on from a Grayson Allen, be my guest. But Desmond Bain looks legit. I think he's an A. I don't know what more you want him to do.
Yeah. And yet again, one of the guys I talked about that were basically this guy was the 3-and-D guy that I was thinking, but could shoot well from three. Saddiq Bey with the Pistons, 19th overall. Dave, just to put it out there, in his last 11 games, he's drilled 26 3-pointers. And on the season, he's hitting 42% from 3-point this year. Like, that's what I look at from Saddiq Bey. 10 points in 21, almost just over 21 minutes a night. Yet again, Saddiq Bey, maybe B+ for me. Like, I like what Bey, like, it's weird because, Bain hasn't really started. But, like, the numbers that I see from Bain and what I see from Bain on the court, I'm going to put Bain at A-. I'm only going to put Saddiq at a B+. Maybe that's a little travesty. Maybe he should be an A. But yeah, B plus, mainly because what I was thinking about from him is shooting from beyond the arc, and he's nailing it over 40%.
Yeah, I mean, what draft pick was he officially?
19th overall.
19 overall. With that in my mind for 19th overall pick to contribute where he's at right now, I'll go B minus. Okay. You're on the one end of B, I'm at the other. I think the inconsistencies in his game, but again, I don't want to hold too much against him because it's the inconsistencies of the Pistons as a roster right now. Yeah. They have been literal trash, then physical trash, and then they've upgraded at times to an actual basketball team. So, I don't hate the team. I want to see them succeed, but there's no consistency. I think that their lineups have shifted a bunch of times. He's played with the first unit. He's played with the backups. He's played with the third stringers. I mean, I know they're basically all third stringers at this point to a lot of people, but like it's very tough when you don't have that consistency around you to know the sets, to know, hey, I'm going to be working with this guy as my main point guard. I'm going to work with this guy, coming off screens and shit like that. So again, his inconsistency, the team's inconsistency. I like what he is. I like what he will be. I think a B minus is fair for me.
The next guy, Dave, you know my grade, or you might not know my grade.
Oh, no. You have to extrapolate. I need to hear the words come out of your mouth about this boy.
So we're talking about the bust, Anthony Bennett. That's who we're talking about. Number 1 overall pick. To me, this is something to where, Dave, what was one of the things we said about Anthony Bennett? Where he had what, Dave?
Anthony,
low what?
Say his name right the first time.
No, I am. He's Anthony Bennett. That's what he is. I know it's Anthony Edwards, Dave, but he's Anthony Bennett. He is the bust of the 2020 NBA draft. And throughout the entire draft process, we're all like, well, you know what? He shows flashes, but he's got low basketball IQ, Dave. He's got low basketball IQ. That's why I'm going to be a little nice to Edwards. I'm feeling nice here on Inauguration Day. I'm not going to go F+. I'm going to go D-. I'm going to go D- for the boy. Only a step up. And the main reason why is I know it's me. Some people are going to say you're a microcosm on this, but it's like I can't remember who they were playing, but the one play out in transition, team's down by 4, there's seconds ticking off the clock in the 4th, and basically it's like he just dribbles the ball away. And like even Ricky Rubio's like, what are you doing out there? Like, know the situation, guy. Know the situation. And I looked at him like, that's exactly what we said. Low basketball IQ. Like, to me, bust of the draft hasn't looked like, to me, yeah, he's looked okay. But yet again, the glaring errors are there. They are there, and the T-Wolves are no better with him. I agree with Eric. Minnesota's a dumpster fire.
They are a dumpster fire. They're the worst team in the league, and they've got so much draft capital that they've used. I mean, you look at Karl-Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards as their big 3 right now, and obviously they went ahead and they re-signed Malik Beasley, who I know draft-wise he wasn't a super high pick, but like he was a mid-first rounder. But again, you have 3 guys who were picked in the top 5 of their drafts respectively. 2 at number 1 overall, and I think D'Lo was 3. So the fuck, like, this is a situation where the team is just built wrong. Saunders will be fired. I do believe that they will get a new head coach by the end of the season or going into next season. I think he's ineffective. But yeah, like,
I mean, it's not all his fault though. Like,
it's not all his fault, but the roster's also not winning. And here's the funny thing. You look at the roster and you're like, there's so much talent here. How come other teams in the league can win without that much talent, but you guys can't figure out how to string together some games?
Yeah.
That's the thing that frustrates me. I look at teams who have less talent on the roster who are winning more games. I'm like, it's a fucking difference here. Is there a will, a want to win? Is there a coaching strategy? Is there how to utilize your talent best? So we could go in depth on that some other time, but like, I look at Edwards and sorry, my hair's really bugging me right now.
You're good. You get that with the longer hair, Dave.
I know. It's fun to play with. I look at Edwards and I just see the worst fucking shot selection, the perma green light for someone who should not have it. He's a poor shooter. Yeah. And they've not done him any favors. They've just continued to give him the green light, like, well, maybe he'll shoot his way out of this one. Shooting his way into the fucking dumpster. I still go C-. I can't give him an F yet. I think D is so low. Again, he looks like an athlete out there. I'm feeling nice about this. I like what he could be, but I don't see him as someone who this year will be anywhere close to efficient enough to be a starting player.
And Dave, I want to clear up because Twitch chat is throwing out some truths, but misleading truths where, yes, Golden State has Minnesota's pick. However, it is top 3 protected. So if Minnesota ends up 1, 2, 3, it stays with Minnesota, and then that pick goes to the Warriors no matter where it is in 2022. So maybe the team will suck so much they're 1, 2, and 3, and the lottery doesn't fuck them like it did the Knicks. Dave, the next guy, besides LaMelo Ball, this is the only other guy, Dave, that I am having in the Rookie of the Year discussion. He is right behind LaMelo Ball for Rookie of the Year. I know people don't like stats, so I'm going to throw one out anyways. 64 assists to 15 turnovers, Dave. Tyrese Haliburton, A fucking plus. A plus. The Kings probably got the best pick in the draft besides LaMelo Ball.
100% yes. And again, that's someone we talked up. I fell in love with because of his efficiency, because he was a smart player who did the right thing at the right time on the court. Again, same reason I love Denny. Smart guys who know their role, who make people around them better players. That's exactly what Tyrese Haliburton is. He does not look like he's going to be a superstar, Kevin Durant score level guy. That's not him. That's not his game. Yeah. He's just fucking fantastic as a player. He is so good, and I love everything about his game. I can't wait till they decide to move on from Buddy Hield or put his bum ass back on the bench where he was actually better. Like, nobody's talking about the fact that Buddy Hield thrived on the bench statistically. The team got better when he was on the bench, but let's not talk about that. Let's just let him play. They've got another fucking drama guy over there playing the 4 for them. So look, we're happy that the Kings have done the right thing. They took a great player who is a very high floor guy, and I love everything about Haliburton moving forward. Yeah, and one thing I wanted to say something, I completely blanked on it. I was going to say something, I completely blanked. He's also gotten Bulls fans to basically be like, man, I wish we picked Haliburton over Williams, where I'm like, guys, we will wait long term and see again, this is 15 games, 20. Yeah, like 20 games. Yeah, not even. But I mean, the next one, clap your hands. What? You do. Everybody. Well, not really. Philadelphia. I told you, my heart out. 76ers. That's okay. We can go from this one into baseball. Jake. Oh, no, you guys can run the list. Yeah. Jake knows his shit. So I want to let Jake talk about his boy, and then I'm going to leave. You guys enjoy. We're talking about Isaiah Joe? Okay. No. Tyrese Maxey, baby. What's your grade? A plus. Is there someone higher than that? I think you've gone high enough, my guy. I mean, the Sixers have been crying out for a playmaking guard off the bench for years, and now they just have 2 of them. I mean, Shake Milton and Tyrese Maxey off the bench. Maxey filling in the starting lineup right now because Curry's out. But once Curry comes back in, he slides back in the starting lineup. You have Tyrese Maxey and Shake Milton coming off the bench. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Like, there's nothing more you can ask for. Tyrese Maxey has been phenomenal. Defensively, he's definitely going to have to improve, but he will as the years go on, I assume. His IQ is there. His ability to read passing lanes, all that's great. His first step's amazing offensively, and he's showing that he gives no fucks and just shoots when he's open, which is great because his main problem, I remember when he got drafted, Dave was like, well, you drafted another guard who can't shoot. I strongly disagree at this point because all of Tyrese Maxey does is just chuck threes and bang mid-range pull-ups. He's just been, I mean, maybe Quickly was only the other guy that went a little bit behind him that's been as good as him, but Maxey has definitely been the best later pick. So my grade of an A on Maxey has nothing to do with the team that picked him. Like, usually I've talked about up to this point, like, man, this team, really good draft pick. This team, really good draft pick. I feel like this A is more on Maxey than it is on the team, where Maxey is just playing up to a level. Maybe it's fucking him and Doc's system that works so well. Maybe it's him, like you said, coming off the bench, playing against second units and playing with second units that may help him as well. But, like, I love Maxey. I loved him in the draft. Just didn't think it was going to go that high. And although he is on the 76ers, who I love to rag on, Jake, just for you, it's nice that he's balling out. We will continue the list. Jake, you don't have, or JD, you don't have to worry.
Fast PP is still coming. Got to talk about Peyton Pritchard, but Jake, I'll ask you, Isaac Okoro, what are your thoughts? What are your grades? This is a guy to me, defensively has been great. Offensively has been limited, but hey, we thought that when he was going to get drafted, that was going to be the case.
Yeah, I'd probably say a B. I think that obviously, I mean, it's a good pick. It's not going to knock anybody out of the water, but now you look at that Cavs team, you have Sexton, you have Garland, you have Okoro, and you have Jared Allen now. And and Okoro was there to make up for the defensive inefficiencies of the two guards they have. Will they keep Sexland? I hope so, because they're the best nickname in all of basketball. Nothing even close to them. Okoro will grow his game offensively. His mechanics are there. It's just. I don't want to say it's a mind game. I hate when people say that it's in their head or whatever. Yeah. His offensive game will grow, but you know what's great is with that backcourt, and they still are going to get another player, another good young player with that team. He doesn't have to score the ball a lot. He just has to be able to make open shots in the corner wherever he is, wherever they set him up in the offense. But I mean, it's just a solid pick from the Cavs.
Yeah, I mean, with me to B, and it's because he's exactly what we thought they would be. Like the Bleacher Report article even mentions, and I'll read it, just a little snippet of he looked like a veteran guarding opposing teams' top scorers. Like to have that from a rook, like obviously there's things he needs to grow, mainly offensively, but it looks like the Cavs got a good pick so far. B overall for Isaac Okoro. And then Jake, the guy that JD wants us to talk about, the surprise of the draft in my eyes, because when they drafted him, I was like, holy shit, Peyton Pritchard, that is a reach if I ever saw one. But he's a guy that's shooting 43% from three. He is about 62% from shots inside 10 feet. As it says here on the Bleacher Report article, IQ and defensive competitiveness has helped him earn minutes. I just think this is a rookie that, yet again, it could be like what Eric said with Maxey, where Maxey makes himself fit with the 76ers. It could just be Pritchard, the way he's playing, making himself fit. But I think this is something where he fits with Brad Stevens, and he is a Brad Stevens guy. Maybe it's because he's closer to being a college kid than he is to being an adult and a pro in the NBA. But like this is a solid A for me from Pritchard, and I did not expect to be giving him an A when we talked about the draft 2 months ago.
Yeah, I'll probably go with a B. I don't know if I go an A. I'll probably go B. I don't want to make the standard Boston joke, but it's another 6'5" white guy that they drafted, and he is just he's solid. He's just good. He's just a good basketball player. And you know, you talked about it. His definitely has some growing to do on the defensive side, but he shows the effort defensively. That's all you need. If a guy he's showing a willingness that he gives 100% every single night, every single game. So if you get a guy like that, they can be defensively because they can grow their game. They show that they want to grow their game.
Yeah. Like I said, I thought it was a reach when Boston picked him. Same. Turns out to be a fucking solid pick for him. Because we knew he could shoot. It's just, could he do other things on top of that? And he's proving now that, yes, he can. And he's got the will and the IQ to get better. Because those are things you can't teach.
Yeah, it turned out that, Aaron Nesmith might have been just a solid, I think he's shooting 21% this year or something like that, 18% from three. So, if you actually switch the picks, they'd actually make more sense. He took Peyton Pritchard in the middle,
Nesmith was so highly ranked, though, because of that three-point shot.
He'll grow. He'll be fine.
I think he'll be fine in future years. The next one, I'm actually going to surprise you, Jake.
Oh, Lord.
Patty Williams. If you had to guess what my grade for Patrick Williams is, what would you say it would be?
Well, okay. You're talking to a Patrick Williams stan here.
Yeah.
So,
but as a Bulls fan, what would you say my grade would be?
Probably a B. Probably he's a good pick.
Damn, you didn't. I thought you were going to be like, oh, it's an A. I'm underset. Like Bleacher Report said their grade for him is an A. I look at that and I go, Patrick Williams has shown flashes. He's shown versatility, rebounding, defense. One of the things I love is that he's gone up against Luka, Kawhi, LeBron, didn't back down. Like I said in my Bulls reaction video, it's very easy for a rookie to get starstruck when going up against especially LeBron and Kawhi, especially Kawhi, a guy that he's talked about in the draft process, kind of looking up and watching Kawhi's game. That's why they call him Baby Kawhi out there. Baby Kawhi in The Mandalorian. But I'm going to go B+ here. Patrick Williams is something I've loved what I've seen, but there's still that kind of thought in my mind where it's like, I don't think you've unlocked everything yet, young Padawan.
Yeah, he was the guy that I talked about all year that if he fell to that like 8 through 11, 8 through 12 range, I thought he's just an absolute steal because I said all year he is a project, but he has every single thing to be a all-star player in today's NBA. He's a wing with a large wingspan who has good shooting mechanics and has a pretty good first step, and his defensive IQ is there. He is great defensively. And I mean, the most encouraging thing that I would say from him is that he's shooting 87% from the free throw line, which I'm sorry, I didn't expect him to shoot near 90%. I know it's really early. It's early for him in the free throw, but he's just Patty Williams. I talked about him for the entire year in the entire draft process. He is just some guy who, if you're going to win in this league, you need a wing like him. You need a wing that can almost do everything. Almost do everything.
I got to do it, Jake. So in the comment section or in the Twitch section, Eric goes, I would say C+. The problem is Markkanen, Williams, and Carter Jr. on the floor at the same time. Here's what I would say to that. Because, like, Eric, when I saw the, I would say C+, you guys might have saw my head went,
I thought you were saying that to me. I thought I said something
adage
else.
of, like, the dog that had the question of, like, what's going on? Like, Tilt, what's going on here? Because I think of these player grades of more as, yes, we've talked about how they fit on a team. I think when you say the problem with Markkanen, Williams, and Carter on the court, I think that's more of a Bulls problem than a Williams problem. Because the thing with the Bulls is Williams is the guy they're keeping. Markkanen and Carter, we're not even sure what their future is with the team. And just what I've seen from Williams himself has been better than a C+. So, like, I would say the player is a B, but the situation right now of the Bulls might be a C+. That's why I was kind of a little confused, like the little.
I thought I said something.
Oh no, you didn't. It was.
I was like, he's shooting 90% from the free throw line. Why did I say that's weird?
Like, I understand the point. Markkanen, Williams, and Carter, like the whole Bulls team, we don't know what the plan is. AK is kind of quiet up there, but yeah, I can see where with me it's more of a single player than the situation. And then the last high-ranking rook before we get through some of the quick picks, the lower guys, James Wiseman, Jake. B for me. I have one complaint with James Wiseman, and that's I don't think he's as aggressive as I would like him to be on the boards. Yet again, this comes from a game I was watching where I had him going over 9.5 boards. He needed 9.5 boards. No, can't get 9.5. Got to get 9. Can't get those 10 boards. Got to let Steph Curry come in and take a board away from me. I'll wait for the ball to come to me. Yes, I'm being a little ridiculous here. But like that's probably one of the only things I look at and I go, be more aggressive. Be more aggressive. Don't let this little guard take the ball from you. Go after the ball, get the rebound, and then pass it to Steph Curry. But other than that, like overall, he's been good for the team. He's been averaging? I think he's averaging over 10 points. I don't have the stats in front of me. He's everything you would want in a number 2 pick. Probably should have been the number 1 pick or number 2 pick because LaMelo should have been the number 1 pick. But I would give him a B.
Yeah, I mean, again, a little bit biased here. Definitely a James Wiseman stand. These were 2 of my top 3 guys all year. James Wiseman, it's very tough to step into an organization like the Warriors who have won so much in the past few years. Obviously not last year with injuries and everything like that. But every single player that goes in that organization just has such high expectations to meet, which is why people were semi-underwhelmed with how he's done so far. This is about what I expected from him. He needs to improve his free throw shooting. We went over that in the draft process the entire time. You can't be a big man in this league like him and want to be great and shoot, 58% from the free throw line? Sorry, it doesn't work anymore. Joel Embiid shoots like 84% from the free throw line. It just, you have to grow your game at some point. Yeah. I think the mentoring and everything is going to be great for him in Golden State. I think he'll be very, very good. He's just not a finished product. He's 19. He's not a finished product. And people are freaking out because he's getting benched early in the season.
And that's the thing where even Eric says like foul trouble's an issue. Like I would agree, but yet again, as he grows, I feel like he'll learn how to stay out of foul trouble or how to avoid fouls. Because one of the things the Bleacher Report article says is at 7'6" wingspan. He has also helped, or it has also helped the 7-foot center block 1.6 shots per game, a starting point that suggests he could eventually rise to the top of the leaderboard with Miles Turner and Rudy Gobert. Like, if a rookie can be in the names of blocked shots with Turner and the best defender in the league, shuts down the entire league, Rudy Gobert, Jesus. Then that's some big praise to do. What, he shut down the whole league. What can I say? I'm just spitting facts here. He shut him down. Like, no one's getting past Rudy Gobert. But then some quick shots, Jake, some lower end rookies. The first one, Miami's Precious Achiuwa. I would say if before the health and safety protocol happened, I'd probably give this one a C+. Because we didn't really see a lot of them. But, you know, with Jimmy not being there and a lot of players missing time over the past couple weeks with the health and safety protocol, I'd say B- for Precious Achiuwa. Maybe I'm a little lower on him, but it's one of those where he's got the tools, he's got the athleticism, he just needs to grow more, although he's had some flashes, and he's a wet boy this year.
Yeah, I mean, I got to watch him twice when the I don't even know what to call them because they weren't the Heat. They were just like, there were 8 players out on the court. They played the Sixers twice, and he was a pain in the ass.
Do we call them the Heatles? No, that would be the Heatles.
Not the Heatles. They don't have a cool nickname. I don't know. They don't have a cool nickname.
The Sparklers. We'll call them the Sparklers.
See, they don't have a cool nickname. We were the 76ers. Okay, they don't have a cool nickname like that.
God, I love that. The 76ers.
Precious is going to be a very solid player. It's another Miami Heat pick. They pick another guy in the middle to late first round. He's going to be an NBA player for a very long time. It's just, I'd probably go along with the B-. That sounds about right to me.
I'm just going to, so this next one, I'm not even going to have a grade for. I'm just going to let you talk about him. Is that
Isaiah
okay?
Joe?
Isaiah Joe.
Oh my, A+++++. Oh my God. You know, it's wild, right? That somebody who shot so well in college can shoot well in the NBA. It's the same thing as Desmond Bane. Isaiah Joe, not only is he shooting so well, when we were the 76ers, he shot 9 threes per game and shot 39% per game from deep. That is insane. He has the ultimate shooter's mindset. He does not give 2 shits. He just, I'm open, shoot. Oh, I'm not. I'm only a little bit open. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm shooting.
I'm open, shoot. Okay, I'm gonna just shoot.
It was great to see, and obviously nothing good comes from these safety protocols. But to see young guys like this gain so much confidence so early in their rookie season is fun to watch. It's not fun to watch teams without half their players, so I hope everybody gets healthy. But it is pretty interesting to see this. If I actually was giving a grade, I'd probably give it A-. I mean, at 49, you get one of the best shooters, if not the best shooter in the entire draft, and his defensive upside is there. He just needs to learn a little bit of defensive IQ. He gets lost defensively every now and then. But, I mean, again, Daryl Morey, I mean, Isaiah Joe's going to be an NBA rotation player for years, and he got him at 49 in the draft.
Yeah. If I had to give a grade, I said I didn't have one, but I will. B. Just solid B. Here's one that, yet again, will rival Anthony Edwards for you, and that's Aleksej Pokusevski. This is one where I feel like for me, it's like a D+, maybe D-. It's a D for sure. But yet again, it's not because of, I almost feel like it's not Pokusevski. It's mainly he doesn't have a fit on this team. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a Thunder team that I feel like doesn't have a real identity. Maybe I'm wrong in that sense, but like, they're a bunch of, hey, let's just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks right now. It's a lot of like, hey, we're trading for all these young players, all these draft picks, and eventually this team is going to take form. But right now they're just a lump of clay. It does not help, though, when he's only making 26% of his shots, and he's got 21.2 turnovers. Well, turnover percentage, I should say.
Yeah, those are not. That's not what you're looking for when you're looking for a basketball player. Pokusevski was definitely taken as a incredibly high ceiling, incredibly low floor. I mean, he looks like Slenderman out there. That's literally what he looks like.
Does.
Like you said, the Thunder don't have an identity. Their identity is they have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and he's very good at basketball. And let's try to get some other players who are actually good at basketball around him.
So I was watching, of course, the Denver Thunder game last night because I had the parlay going. And when they were playing him in the fourth quarter because they were getting blown out, in the watch along, I literally said, Pokusevski, because of his size, like rail thinness, it looks like to me like, hey, who let that high schooler out on the court? That high schooler is really tall, but who left that high schooler out there on the court for the Thunder?
Yeah, he looks like somebody I'd go to when I was in high school, and not as tall, obviously.
One of the prep schools, Jake? Playing one of the prep schools, that's who they got?
God. He looks like me if I was like a foot taller. If I was like a foot taller. He is, I mean, I won't give him this though. That guy lacks no confidence. Yeah. He just goes at it. He turns the ball over. I think he has near 2 assists per game, and he only plays about 16 minutes per game, and he barely touches the ball. He just shoots it. I'd probably give it a D too. He could definitely change. He could become a great player. He needs to add weight. He needs to improve his shot. He needs to improve his ball handling. He needs to improve his IQ. There's so much he has to improve. And maybe he can, but.
Last two. Isaiah Stewart, I feel like this is a B. Only because he's exceeded the expectations that I had for him coming in. I had very low expectations because Dave and I always said about him, he's got an old man's game. But he's shown flashes for the Pistons. Enough flashes to where I've even thought to myself, wow, he might be something special for them in a couple years.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at him, I saw a 6'8" center with an old man's game, and I went, wow, he's going to be bad. And I would probably caution myself because he plays on a bad team, and sometimes bad players Jahlil Okafor, old man's game, averaged 18.5 points in his rookie year, and then fell off the face of the earth. I think Isaiah Stewart has shown some upside, though. I'd probably give it a C. It's a wait and see fit. It's where does this Pistons team go, and where does he fit into that equation? We just don't know yet.
And then the last rookie. If I had to rank rookies this year, Jake, on performances, LaMelo would be number 1, rookie of the year. Halliburton would be number 2. This guy would be number 3. Maxey would probably be number 4. However, this guy and Maxey might be switchable. Emmanuel fucking Quickly for the Knicks. SEC Player of the Year. Put some fucking respect on that name. He's been balling out for Coach Tom Thibodeau down there. And I hope that the only reason why I hope he doesn't make the starting role is because I hope Tom Thibodeau doesn't blow out his fucking knees as a rookie.
I will give Tom some credit. He has shown that in the last couple games he's playing 9 to 10 players and actually going deep in the rotation. Yeah. Now, quickly, it's the same thing I talked with Maxey. Why do GMs keep falling for this Kentucky guard stigma? Okay, Tyler Hero happened. Devin Booker happened. Now it's happening with Maxey and Quickly. Just because they play somewhat poor in college, I'd put Cat in that situation. Cat's college numbers were not that good. He just wasn't that good because it was him. It was him, Willie Cauley-Stein, and Trey Lyles all sharing minutes in college. Yeah. And then he comes to the NBA and he wasn't the number 1 overall prospect. Then teams worked him out and they're like, holy shit, this kid's amazing. So it's the same thing with Kentucky guards. Quickly is a walking bucket. I don't know if he's a franchise point guard or anything like that. I'd give it a B+, the same thing. I'd give it an A-, same thing I gave Maxey, because I think they're pretty similar. I think they're about the same thing. I just think that GMs and even us need to stop falling for this Kentucky guard bullshit, because every year there's a Kentucky player that underperforms in college and then comes to the NBA and they're like, holy shit, this kid's really good.
I will ask you, does BJ Boston fall into that? Do you think he is going to be the next Kentucky guard? Because Dave and I kind of talked about it on the mock draft. Is he going to fall into the side of the Emmanuel Quickleys, the Tyrese Maxeys of didn't play that well in college, played well in the NBA? Or will he be the Kevin Knoxes of, hey, he might be good, let's draft him, and then doesn't pan out?
I was muted. My bad. Didn't know I was muted.
I was like, shit, did I lose him?
Shit. No, I'm here. Don't worry. I will be honest, I haven't watched a lot of BJ Boston yet. But if it's a Kentucky guard, I'm going to say out right here, he could be good. I don't know.
Take a swing at him. That's what Jake said. Take a swing at him.
I'm going to assume he's probably a scoring guard who's shooting poor percentages because they put him in poor situations and don't play to his strengths. That's what I'm going to assume, because Kentucky plays to win college basketball games. It's the same thing that happened to Cam Reddish at Duke. It's the same thing. Not when there's so many similar. Kentucky's not as good as this year, or even close to as good this year. But I mean, it's the same thing every year. Kentucky doesn't play their player strength. They play a system, and they try to win basketball games. And I don't blame them for it, but it does hurt players' draft stocks, which is funny, which Kentucky used to have all the high recruiting classes, even though they do this to players.
Hey, they're not even ranked this year, so are they even good, bro? Are they even good, bro? But yeah, that'll do it for our rookies. So let us know what you guys think, obviously, down below about everything that we talked about Jake, the main reason why we brought you on.
Woo!
And that is we're talking baseball. Something, something, something. I don't remember the lyrics except for
I don't even know what
baseball.
You're singing.
You don't know that? Like the song that was it was used on The Simpsons. It's the one Roger Clemens clucking on the mound.
Jesus.
It's an old song. It's called Talking Baseball, and it's fucking beautiful. But yeah, we're talking about 2 baseball stories today. 2, not 1. The first one, George Springer is a Toronto Blue Jay. That cracked last night the deal. I have it in front of me right here. $150 million. I believe you said, Jake, $60 million more than what the Yankees had to pay DJ LeGoat.
True.
In the story we talked about yesterday. And he gets that for 6 years. So that means this team's right now starters are Danny Jensen at catcher, Rowdy Tellez at first base, Calvin Biggio at second, Vlad Jr. at third, Bo Bichette at short, Gurriel Jr. at left field, Springer in center, and then it looks like right now they have Hernandez, Telescar Hernandez, either as the DH or the right fielder. However, Brantley could be... it's Michael Brantley, who is...
Brantley signed with the Astros just about an hour ago.
Okay, so
now it's official.
So then he's not following to the Blue Jays. So the Blue Jays got to find something else. And I know for catcher, JT Realmuto might be a Blue Jay, but odds are he might go back to Philly. Thing I'm going to ask you, Jake, is first off, what does this mean for the Blue Jays? And now where do they go with their free agent search now that they have Springer locked down for 6 years?
Yeah, I think it's great for the Blue Jays. They finally get a star veteran player is what I'll say, because they have young stars on their team. They're one of the richest franchises in the entire Major League Baseball. They're finally going out and spending money because they have such a solid core of the Biggio, Bichette, and Guerrero. Yeah. It's really good to see. And George Springer, I'm glad he got paid. He's a player that deserves to get paid. And I can like him now because he doesn't play for the Astros. He's one of the best center fielders in baseball. Not the best because, the best player of all time, Mike Trout, plays center field too.
Yeah.
Can't be the best. But, I mean, they add an absolute stud to the lineup. They get another guy who, when every single time that he comes up, he's a pain in the ass. He's not a guy who strikes out a ton. He's not a guy who has short at-bats. He's not a guy who's going to have bad at-bats a lot. And he brings a sense of winning to this locker room too, which they need. They need a veteran guy like this. They need a guy who's won before, and they lock him down for 6 years. It's just it's a great deal. It's a big deal. $150 million is a lot of money for George Springer, but it's worth it for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, and the Blue Jays, I feel like you got to make a move like this. And the reason why is if you're going to compete with especially the Yankees and what they have, you have to have a player like George Springer on your team. Like yet again, this might be elementary in its outlook, but like this was a really good night for the Blue Jays, really bad night if you're an Astros fan, because if I'm the rest of the AL West, I'm kind of cheering because it's like, yay, the Astros are going to be a little bit worse than they were last year because they're going to be missing George Springer. Now they're still going to have Brantley, Altuve. Like you said yesterday, Verlander, I think, is coming back. So they'll still have players, but like the Blue Jays, you keep throwing out the Rays. I don't know if I'm as high on the Rays as you are. But like I'll throw them in there anyways. The Rays, the Yankees. Now the Blue Jays can say, hey, we are seriously going to compete. Now the question is, and I know we'll get into this in our second one, was for me, the free agent that now they have to go like basically focus on is Trevor Bauer. Because how we talk about pitching and like hitting is going to win you the regular season. You need hitters to stay hot and hit well throughout the regular season. Pitching wins you the postseason. The only question now is, yet again, the lineup that I listed off, the thing that I was kind of looking at on Bleacher Report, is they're saying that the George Springer addition could mean kind of question marks for like a I'm gonna fuck up his name. Grichuk. Grichuk, Tellez, like some of these young guys that might have, and also I think they threw out an Alejandro Kirk. Does this hurt the young guys on the Jays to where it's like, hey, they might have gotten more of an opportunity because he's not here, but that shouldn't fucking matter, right? Because you got George Springer, who's obviously going to help you get to the playoffs and potentially win a World Series.
This is the exact gripe I have with teams in any sport, really. They just signed George Springer, and people are like, "Oh, that could hinder their young talent." I don't give a damn about the young talent because I can sign a guy who I know is a top 5 center fielder in the entire MLB. I know what he's going to give me. I know that he's great, and I don't have to worry about potential, which potential is great with some players. But none of those people that you rattled off do I go, that guy can be as good as George Springer, because no, they can't.
I mean, the only thing I would say would be a little different is like the Cubs when we had Gleyber Torres, because at the time we had Chris Bryant at third. What was it? Addison, he's a douchebag and a wife beater, Russell. And then Javi Baez at second, to where it was like, there was no way he was going to get into that lineup, to where it's like, looking back now, it's like, holy shit, he would have fucking been in that lineup nicely. Javi at short, Gleyber at second. It's like it would have worked out perfectly, but who knows if we have that World Series. Thank you for dying for a World Series since Gleyber. But like, that's the only example I can see of like, okay, that is a situation hindering a young talent. Like, none of these guys in my sense are going to be starting over a George Springer. And if they were starting, your team is not as good as it is with George Springer on it. The Blue Jays now, to me, are a team that I can, like, there was part of me that's like, okay, they are the second or third team in the East, but now with George Springer on it, I can kind of start to take them more seriously. I can start to put them in that, all right, they may be able to compete with the Yankees this year. It's just, with the Blue Jays, I think the front office, and I think they do have this mindset of, we're not fucking done. We can't rest on our laurels here. We got to keep going. What's that next guy we're going to get? On the flip side, I'll ask you, should the Astros be panicking in this situation? Like, I wouldn't say like panic of like, oh, our season is over, but this is a team that I know in a shortened season finished 7 games behind the Athletics. Is there any chance a Mariners, an Angels, a Rangers kind of compete with the Astros now to maybe take over second in the West?
No. The Mariners.
Short answer, no. Next question.
The Mariners are a few years away, but the Mariners are coming, and I don't want to say the phrase, but they're coming hard. They are.
That's the only way to come, is coming hard.
But yeah, the Mariners will be there in a couple of years. The Rangers, no, the Rangers are just the Rangers. I don't even know how to describe the Rangers because their ownership is very disappointing and they let players walk. They shouldn't. They just don't have enough talent on the team to compete with a team like the Astros. The Astros' big worry is, will they be able to extend Correa and Bregman and all these guys to keep them? Signing Brantley back was huge for them. They would have lost way too much offense if they would have lost Springer and Brantley. So getting him back is huge for them. Jordan basically missed all of last year. Was terrible. He comes back. I mean, he's a monster. He hits baseballs very, very far. He's pretty good at baseball. He's very good.
He's pretty good at baseball.
He's pretty good at baseball. The Blue Jays you were mentioning as favorites in the AL. I'd probably
I wouldn't say favorites in the AL. I just said they would now. I have a little bit more confidence in the Blue Jays maybe competing with the Yankees.
I like those words like 3 times. I have some confidence in that they might be able to do this. But no, the Blue Jays signing. Did we even talk about Kirby Yates? I don't think we talked.
No, we didn't. Like, so JD, who is our resident Blue Jay fan, like, he made me feel like, is that a bad signing? Because he's like, man, I love these minor league fucking contracts. No. Kirby Unless Yates, he was talking about something else. Because I'm like, Kirby Yates, I thought was a good fucking closer for the Padres.
Kirby Yates, like the second best closer in baseball the last 2 years. Obviously,
that's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, what?
It's pretty insane that he got a 1-year, $8.5 million deal because that's what relievers go for now. Because relievers are so hit or miss year to year.
Yeah.
You see the Yankees give a big contract to Ottavino. He's fucking awful. So it's what relievers do. Relievers
don't even remind me about Craig Kimbrell.
Yeah, well, he's there for 2 more years. So check in, Craig.
That's me watching a home run go out of the ballpark, by the way.
Yeah, but you gotta put like your elbows up. You gotta get ready like he does, you know. And you know, he almost he does an underflex before he pitches the ball. I don't even know what it is. I hate Craig Kimbrell. But the Blue Jays are still a few pieces away. They need some pitching. Everybody knows they need some pitching. JT Realmuto will be nice. I don't think it really solves any of their issues. Trevor Bauer, then I might start to worry a little bit if they start offering him.
Well, let's move on into that. So the second thing is Trevor Bauer. The news coming out, and you sent it to me, was that apparently the Yankees, or not the Yankees, the Dodgers, basically the Yankees of the fucking NL. The Dodgers are now interested in Trevor Bauer. To me, if I am a Blue Jays fan, I'm going, uh-oh. Because, Jake, if you're asking me personally, who would you rather play for, the Jays or the Dodgers? If I'm Trevor Bauer, I'd go, I'm going to the Dodgers because I could probably win a fucking World Series over there. Sorry, Toronto. I'm going to take my talents to LA, not South Beach. But, like, that's the thing. Are the Jays going to be able to still land Bauer, or will the bright, sunny lights of LA and the championship odds of the LA Dodgers lure him to the West Coast?
If there's a team going, oh shit, it's the San Diego Padres right now.
Yeah, that too. Them too. They're also with the Blue Jays drinking at a bar.
Yeah. What did I say about the Dodgers the last few times we talked about them? Mm-hmm. They only do good business. They don't do bad business. They're seeing that Trevor Bauer, who won the Cy Young, who I'm questionable about getting a huge contract, but guess what? He's still sitting on the free agency market. And guess what? The only players they have signed past 2022 is Mookie Betts. Cody Bellinger, Corey Seager, Walker Buehler will all join him eventually. But it's not like they don't have the money to go sign him if they want to.
Yeah.
The Dodgers have they don't care about paying the luxury tax. They don't care about any of that. They just care about winning. If you add,
it's nice to have a team that doesn't give a shit about that and just wants to win. Like, only every team was like that, Chicago Cubs.
It's so rare to find a team like that in sports now. There really aren't that many. If you add Trevor Bauer to Clayton Kershaw and Walker Buehler as a 1-2-3, just wrap up the season. Just wrap it up. Nobody's beating that team. Nobody is beating a lineup with Mookie Betts and Cody Bellinger in the middle of it. And then you have to go face in game 1 Clayton Kershaw, and game 2 Walker Buehler, and in game 3 Trevor Bauer. I'm sorry. Nobody's beating that. I know the Padres fans are probably sitting there like, yeah, but we got Tatis and Machado. Yeah, guess what? They're not Cody Bellinger and Mookie Betts. The Dodgers are just a level above. And I will say, I do think this interest from the Dodgers is a little bit of a smokescreen from Bauer's agency or whoever it is, because I feel like they want to get the Padres a little bit panicked there. I feel like they want the team like the Blue Jays, or they want a team like the Yankees to be like, oh shit, we cannot let the Dodgers get Trevor Bauer. Like, that's not something that can happen.
Or if it's like a Blue Jays thing of like, maybe they offer a little bit more than they were thinking, because it's like, shit, we can't fucking lose this guy. Like, we already lost Brantley. We can't fucking lose Bauer on top of it.
Talking about the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays. Sorry. I mean, if the Blue Jays go out and sign Trevor Bauer, the only thing that worries me about that is he's going to get a lot of money. Yeah. And I don't know if Trevor Bauer, like I said, if the Dodgers get him, end it. It's over. But I don't know if he's a long-term solution for a team's number one option. He had a very good year in a 60-game season, which is great. But if you look at his years prior, he's good. He's not great. He's not like a bona fide number one. He can carry your rotation. He's not a Garrett Cole. He's not a Jacob deGrom. He's not one of those guys.
But yet again, he's going to get a big year. On a Dodger team, he doesn't have to be. He
needs to be the 3.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
The 3.
That should be illegal.
Like I'm even thinking, like, even on the Blue Jays, I don't have it in front of me. I should probably look it up. Their ace would be Hyun-Jin Ryu, right? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So you got Ryu with the Jays. Bauer would be number 2.
He'd be number 1. He'd be number 1. He'd be number 1.
So he'd be the ace on the.
Yeah.
Good point.
On the Blue Jays. Yeah.
On the Yankees, he's at least 2. I don't know if there's anyone above. Because it's Garrett Cole and then Trevor Bauer, right?
Yeah, it would be them 1, 2. Yeah, for sure.
And then what? You said there was a 4th team for him, right? The Padres.
I said the Padres. Yeah,
they're not. Are they going to offer Bauer a contract?
I mean, he's best friends with Clevenger, who's on the team.
Could you imagine if they fucking got Bauer?
No, that's no.
No. What, Blake Snell, Yu Darvish, Joe Musgrove, Trevor Bauer. Oh, and then you're adding Clevenger next year? Like, what the fuck?
Like, what the fuck are we supposed to do with that?
Yeah,
and they still lose to the Dodgers. So the Dodgers, I feel like this is one of two things. Like I said, this is either one, the Dodgers just trying to stir the pot and see what happens, or two, it's Trevor Bauer's agency trying to draw interest from other teams and raise your offers a little bit.
You said Brantley signed back with the Astros, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Only reason why is I see a tweet here with a video, and it's got Ken Rosenthal on it. And the graphic says, report, Michael Brantley agrees to 3-year deal with the Blue Jays.
Yeah, it changed. It's like DeAndre Jordan 2.0.
So he agreed with the Jays, and then he never
actually agreed with the Jays. So a bunch of people reported that he did. Okay. He had discussions with them, and then Jeff Passan came out and said there's no agreement between the Blue Jays and Michael Brantley. And then like 2 hours later, they came back and they said the Astros signed him.
Okay, yeah, because I was looking at them like that's confusing. Jake, any final thoughts you have on anything before we wrap up this show?
I'm so glad that baseball, they're actually making moves. It took fucking 3 months to do it, but at least free agents are signing, and I hope Trevor Bauer signs soon so I can stop seeing his dumbass Twitter posts every single day.
One of these days, I'm going to have you, maybe not tomorrow, but one of these days I want to have you on to maybe talk about what free agents are left. Because, I mean, I know Sam brought up Nelson Cruz being out there from the Twinkies, so maybe we'll have to do that.
Wait.
What?
I need to say something. The Twins signed J.A. Happ. Thank you. He fucking sucks. He's terrible. You paid him $8 million, and I'm being told he's not a bad fourth man in the rotation. Yes, he is. He's terrible. He's awful.
Jake's like, I would know from experience.
The Twins have lost 18 years in a row in the playoffs. Guess what? You just made it 19. All right? J.A. Happ fucking sucks, and he fits Minnesota to the bill because Minnesota also is tragedy. All right. Sorry. Had to say that. That's
going to do it, though, for today's show. I want to thank you guys for basically being you, doing everything that you guys do each and every day. Join the Discord, link down below, or !Discord, get you in to that server. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com/MVPvids or throw us a sub on Twitch. I saw that Ben, the Celtics fan, being a G yet again. Thank you for throwing a sub at JD Gifting, a sub. For the channel, really means a lot. Thank you to our Patreon sponsor, Pat Hill. We're on Twitch Monday through Friday, !MVP Vids. We are on MVP Sports on YouTube. Also, thank you to today's sponsor. A little bit of Manscaped for you. I will throw this up now. I forgot to throw it up during the ad read. So on YouTube, I'll just put it in. But remember, manscaped.com. Use the code MVP, get 20% off and free shipping. Didn't throw that graphic up earlier. That is going to do it for us. We'll be back tomorrow. You guys keep doing what you do. And as always, have a good day, everybody.